26 Worst Examples of Bad Parenting, according to Reddit. Number 26. I doubt it'll be the worst example in this list, but while sat outside a noodle shop with a friend and my 3 dogs, a mom and dad went inside to order and left their 2 children to run outside and come up and hit, slap, poke, and scream at my dogs. Ugh. Control your kids, people. Control your kids. Then, the children only giggled and ran off when I told them to leave us alone, and would then repeat the whole thing half a minute later. The parents' only reaction was to occasionally glance outside and smile as though it was something cute and their kids weren't fucking terrorizing my previously napping dogs. For fuck's sake. Control your kids. This is what I'm saying. Control your kids. Oh my God. Somebody responds, my nephew, who was an awful 4-year-old shit, kept poking and then running away from my 100-pound dog. Kept doing it after I told him to stop, and his grandmother lazily half-assed told him no. So I finally stooped down and told him, if you keep teasing my dog, he's eventually going to chase you and knock you down. When he does, it's going to hurt a lot. And when you're crying, I won't help you. He straightened up real quick. Man. Control your kids. Number 25. I was traveling through India, and I don't speak Hindi, so I didn't understand what was being said or happening. But some old lady turned around to a very passive little 5 or maybe 6-year-old, and then slapped her across the face with all her force. It was heartbreaking. The kid just sobbed. She didn't even scream. I think she must have been used to it. Well, damn, baby. You slapping a 5-year-old toddler, man. I really can't stand some parents because it's like they use their children as outlets, and that's fucked. Your child is not your outlet, you know? If you're at your wit's end and don't know how to properly consequence your kid, cool. You know, cool. But when you're exercising, you know, your fucking turmoil on this child, oh boy, physically, you know, control your kids, but not like that. Not like that. Full force smack on a 5-year-old. Come the fuck on now. Number 24. Here in Belgium, new parents receive money from the government at the birth of each child to help with the initial costs like diapers, baby bottles, strollers, etc. It's about $2,000 a kid, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I knew a guy who decided to have a kid because he needed the money to buy a new computer, to play games the whole day, obviously. Well, if he found a lady who was down to just let her child money go to some motherfucker trying to build a computer, he probably didn't even build it. He probably bought it. Somebody responds, like, wow, to grant another 9 months when you could just earn it. It's not like $2,000 is a yearly wage in Belgium. Bah. Oh God, guys, forgive me here. Number 23. I work in foster care. I can tell you roughly 14 up to 28 horrible stories of parents. But something tells me you're just going to tell me one. The ones that get me the worst are the parents who sell their beautiful 13-year-old daughter for meth, or the mom who laughed at her 8-year-old when he told her that his dad and stepdad were sexually abusing him. And all of his siblings. He begs to go home now, and all I can say is, you know better than me why you live here, bud. Ugh. Oh my God. Yo, man, some people living some scary ass lives. Getting tricked out for drugs and getting fucked out in the butt by men relatives, dude. Just sucks. You know, it's, you know, I live a jaded existence, dude. Not just because I was put away for something I didn't do, but because, like, I think there's just a kind of a kind of awareness that envelops you, not just because you're living in a world where the law isn't going to be on your side unless you have cash, but because like something about knowing that like only a few people ever are really going to have your back, you know? And even those people you gotta watch. You can't just assume that they're gonna have your back. You know what I mean? You gotta sleep with one eye open type shit. To know at such a young age that like your relatives, when you came to this realization that the people who are closest to you, that are like family, that are blood, don't have your best interest at heart. They're acting on their own selfish like desires. It's disgusting. It's sad. It's a terrible way to see the world as you're opening your eyes for the first time, as you're slowly just like close your eyes and then slowly open them, and this is what you're seeing. You know what I mean? It's terrible, because you know you want to believe shit gets better, like it's some kind of baby titty sucking, you know, fucking storybook for a child, or a fairy tale fantasy, you know, that Disney's gonna make you. But shit doesn't get better for a lot of people. It gets so much worse. So all we can do is, I don't know, be good to people as best we can. Somebody responds, I couldn't even imagine working there and hearing those stories or dealing with abusive parents. I would lose my shit and end up in jail, but good for you. You're making difference with these kids. Yeah, good for this person working in foster care. Number 22, a woman on the bus. A woman on the bus told her approximately 6-year-old son to tell an approximately 11-year-old schoolgirl to move out of the way, but referred to the girl as that fat cow. Oh, I lost my shit, probably displaying pretty bad parenting skills myself as I was taking my son to school, but I couldn't let it pass. I couldn't let it pass. What else? What's up? If you guys can help it, don't let people be assholes, you know? I'm like a fairly large man, you know, with a loud and I would say provocative and almost frightening voice, you know. I can't get away with not seeming like the guy that incited shit when things go down. Let's face it, I say something in the room, you know, somebody's gonna be trembling. If a body ends up on the ground, it's gonna be like, you know, not only did I do it, but I enjoyed it or something, you know. They'll turn it into whatever. Just gotta be careful, guys. Don't just stand by and let shit happen, but think about it, you know. If somebody shows up right now, who's going to jail, you know what I mean? Who's going to get into trouble here? Oh, I was just trying to help you. Shut up. Listen to your voice. Number 21, man. First-hand account, my mom would let me work during the summer from 7 to 7. And when I came back to the hotel room, she'd pay for another night. Oh my God. Let me read this again. First-hand account. My mom would let me work during the summer, 7 to 7, and when I came back to the hotel room, she'd pay for another night, get me a McChicken, and then shoot up heroin while I watched TV. And you thought your life was bad. Holy monkey balls. Okay. Just be glad your parents ain't strung out on drugs, because they would do fucking anything to secure that fix, including tricking you out, fucking making you work. Oh shit. They can make you work while tricking you out. That could be your job, as you taking it in and out. Oh my God. So sorry. So sorry. Number 20. I went to breakfast with a good friend and a friend of a friend. We picked up the friend of a friend who brings her 3-year-old son along. The kid is crying and making all kinds of noise, and the mother responds by telling the kid that I have a gun, and if he doesn't calm down, I was going to shoot the kid. I just looked away like there was a camera to look at, like, for real. I'm sorry. Like, for real. I was just like, you know what I'm talking about? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, man. This is not a thread describing, like, humans, okay? This can't be Earth. A response says, I have a couple of friends with kids and I fucking hate when they use me as a threat of punishment. The kids love me, I love them, and I don't want to hear the parent saying, if you don't behave, then he'll never come play with you again. Fuck off, Shannon. If you don't behave, I'll never come drink with you again. Yo, bitch. Number 20. I went to breakfast with a good friend. You kind of just read this, Kyle. You okay? Not really. You want to talk about it? Nah, I know you don't care. Well, I'm glad you know me enough to know I don't care. Get your shit together. Get all your shit together. Number 19. A couple of years ago, I was on a shuttle in Yosemite. A little girl approximately age 10 had this nasty, tight cough. What makes a cough tight, you know? Being in the medical field, I was concerned and asked her if she had asthma. Okay. The father answered in a curt and rather annoyed tone that she was fine. They were doing controlled burns in the park, which was causing my own asthma to act up. The girl was not fine, as she clearly was struggling to breathe. I bit my tongue, but to this day, I wish I had somehow persuaded the father to get help. You probably wouldn't have been able to. Because some old niggas just decide that their kids are fine and they need to get over some crap even if they have an ailment. And that's the true funny part, you know, is a lot of people don't respect certain diagnoses. And that's pretty funny, isn't it? You know? Medicine is widely available, but hey, look, you're living on a planet where some people trick themselves into not getting people vaccinated in ways that like they need. And hey, I'm all for the idea that the government does not tell everybody the whole truth. Okay, am I saying that they're like sterilizing people and they're trying to keep us docile like sheep with certain things that they're putting in supplies that we all eat or consume? Hey, I don't know, and neither do you. However, as it pertains to medicine, dude, this shit is in our best interest. You can't just assume and then have people's lives hang in the balance and shit. Like, and that's another ballpark as far as like what we're addressing right now. What I mean is that there are certain parents, so this is fitting with the topic of bad parents, that are just the type that don't take stake. They don't take stock in like medical conditions, you know? Even some people living today don't believe in like ADHD. They just think people need to sit their ass down and study or something like that, you know, and that you're just being hyper or stupid, or you know, you spend too much time on the internet. So you're not like there are a lot of conditions that a person can be diagnosed with that certain people over a certain age just straight up don't believe in. Straight up. And as hilarious as it sounds, asthma kind of falls into that category where, you know, much like an anxiety attack or like a panic attack, some people just believe that they bring it on themselves and that they can control it, you know, and shit like that. It's wild, but it's the truth. Some people are crazy. And they think that just because some people can fake something, that everybody else must be faking it. And it's sad. So again, be glad, man. I'm not saying that you probably had the best upbringing. I'm not saying that your parents are the most understanding people in the world. I'm saying that you are where you are today, and so many things had to go right for you to even still be breathing right now. So be appreciative, even if it seems like you're alone, even if it seems like you don't have what you want right now as far as like satisfaction in your life and being able to just be, I want to say happy with where you are. You're still alive, man. And a lot of things had to line up perfectly for that shit to happen. A lot of figurative planets had to align for you to be alive still. Because the amount of times that you probably didn't and weren't going to get what you needed, yet still made it out okay, are probably shocking. Forgive that runaway point. Number 18. Just happened a month ago, so it's in my mind. It's a long story, so I'll boil it down to the basics. A boy, 13 years old, was bullying kids on an indoor climbing cave and just claimed to his mom. Sorry. Boy, was that a failed attempt to mute the mic in time. And indoor climbing cave, and just, I don't know if that means climbed, to his mom, when another boy started crying after he fell. Okay. That he slipped and bumped into the other boy by accident. Okay. Mom totally believes it and goes back to ignoring her son climbing and instead chatting and drinking lattes with her friends. The bully targets a young girl on the wall. She's 9, I'm pretty sure. Grabs her at her legs and he's creeped up beside her. She manages to kick his arm off and starts climbing backwards. He goes upwards to follow. What the bully doesn't know is the girl is a regular climber at our gym. And it's about here when I noticed the two and moved towards them, yelling at them to stop. Nearest to the top, the boy lunges at the girl as she pretty deftly maneuvers away from his arm, and he loses his balance and takes some 15-foot dive to the ground. There's a pretty massive crack that can be heard along with his wailing in pain. And what does the mother do? She turns to the front desk and screams at the top of her lungs, "I'm going to sue you for all that you own." Bra fucking oh, lady. I'd like to have pretended that I fist bumped the girl for a job well done, but I was checking in on the bully to make sure he wasn't going to die. Fractures. Coil fractures, no worry. Good. Yeah, y'all got security cameras. You shouldn't have shit to worry about. I'm sure parents probably coach their kids into pretending how to fall and damage themselves so they can get lawsuit money. So it would be in the best interest of wherever the fuck you work to have these security cameras up. Isn't that a crazy world we live in, guys? Just take a minute to think about that. You want to talk about bad parents? I'm sure that there have been parents who coach their kids, just like the parents coach their kids on how to shoplift. When they go in and they go, "Oh, take up this," and then steal it. You know what I mean? And then just walk out. It won't be a big deal. If they catch you, what they gonna do? Arrest you? You know what I mean? You're a little kid, so just take it up. And then you'll be like, "Oh no, oh, I didn't know he had that. Oh, you better put that expensive thing that you don't know anything about back that I didn't tell you to pick up, bitch." You know what I mean? Shit. So imagine just like having some mom just like, what you want to do is you want to go up there and then you want to make it seem like something just, and then when you fall, you say, "What I grabbed wasn't sturdy and firm. Sturdy and firm it was not." Fucking parents. Trying to get that lawsuit money, baby. Number 17. I was in a department store, and this couple were shopping with their 3 kids. Damn. The boy child, who looked to be around 8, picked up a hairbrush and smacked his sister, who started crying. The mom said, "Alex, don't do that. It isn't nice." The boy said, "Fuck you." The mom, still ignoring her crying daughter, says, "Come on, Alex, don't say that." To which Alex then hits his mother with the hairbrush. The mom bends down and says, "Alex, that isn't really nice." And then Alex responds by slapping her mother across the face and saying, "Fuck you!" The mom simply says, "Alex, that wasn't necessary," and kept on shopping. The dad, he just watched all of this like it wasn't his problem and eventually walked away. You know she ain't got that good pussy. It's a very conflicting story, actually, because I want to say she ain't got that good pussy, but how she get 3 kids? Did she run around on a dude and get those 3 kids? Was he drunk? Was he bored? Was she a different lady before those kids? Maybe that's what the dad likes about her, the way that he could just do whatever and say whatever to her, and she's just like, "Oh, that's not very nice." You know what I mean? Shut up, Gael. Let's keep going here. Number 16. My sister was worried that her 7-year-old son wasn't at the level as the other kids. You mean the same level? Or at the level of the other kids? And considering holding him back a year, she didn't end up going through with it, but my brother-in-law found his development super funny and kept openly mocking his own son until his own son started crying his eyes out and needing a hug. I was obviously horrified that his own father was acting like a schoolyard bully. Well, maybe he was bullied when he was younger by his own pappy. By his own pappy. Another response says, not a parent in the case I saw, but a grandparent. I used to nanny 2 kids under 3. The boy was very shy and cautious. Jesus. The boy was very shy and cautious just by nature, and it took time for... My God, you alright, man? Why you inhaling so much while you're trying to read? Okay. Oh boy. The boy was very shy and cautious by nature, and it took time for him to get used to new things and new people. His grandparents lived an hour away and would sometimes babysit, but of course a 2-year-old doesn't really remember people they only see once every couple of months. One day, the grandparents came over to babysit and brought a new kiddie pool. The boy had played in a kiddie pool as a baby the previous summer, but of course he doesn't remember that. He's 2. So the parents set up their gift, fill it with water, and I got the kids changed. I'd always stay an hour or so after the grandparents arrived to make sure the kids were comfortable with them first. Am I like transforming? Grandpa was so excited for a little boy to see the gift, but the little boy wasn't sure about it because he basically never seen a pool before. I started getting him used to it and put his sister in, dipped my toes in, encouraged him to put his hand out and feel the water, etc. It was taking time, but he was warming up. Well, Grandpa ran out of patience. He grabbed the kid and just plopped him in the pool, and the little boy immediately started panicking and crying. And then Grandpa started mocking him for crying about a little water. I took the kiddo inside and told his parents what happened. Scaring the crap out of a shy toddler is pretty shitty, but mocking a baby for crying when he's scared, that shit's foul. But they come from a different generation. That's what you gotta understand. That's what you gotta understand. As rude as it is, I want to say different generation, but I think we're finally reaching the time now where it's like, you need to know goddamn better. Here's what I'm gonna say. Y'all niggas don't know shit about growing up with old folks that didn't have the internet around as an audience to openly shame them. Do you get what I'm saying? It's one thing to like, here's the thing. Here's how your parents work, okay? Here's how your parents work. Your parents need a group of people to come together on one thing before they decide that it is or isn't what's up. This is why a lot of religious people are down for the same kind of stupid horse shit, is because they go fill themselves with, you know, the doctrine that a room full of niggas come together and agree on. Do you know what I mean? In the current world, when people do shit, when people say shit, thank God somebody could just flip out a camera phone and just record them and go, all right, man, if these are your points, if this is what you're about, this is what you stand by, we're going to throw this shit up on the internet and see how well it stands to scrutiny, baby. I hope it works out for you. Do you know what I mean? So in that way, people are forced to act right because they have an audience, and shame will make them think before they act. Shame will make people who otherwise wouldn't act humane or normal, by our definition, society's consideration of normal now, but shame will make people who would otherwise be assholes act like a typical, normal, like Jesus, like upstanding human. Okay, but back in that day, before these camera phones to put people on blast and shame them, before, I want to say even TV or the internet was like showing you what you should be acting like and not. Jesus Christ. As far as these people were concerned, what they had is what was right. And I'm sure that this dude's got memories of being tossed into the water and having people laugh at him. Who knows? That might as well have been like entertainment at the time when there was no YouTube videos and no, America's Funniest Home Videos. All they had was their, you bored? Let's have a kid. Let's watch that little motherfucker run around, The bottom line is these people are fucking crazy back then. So it's not really going to, in their minds, it's not going to scar a kid long term. It's not going to scar the kid long term. But what can you do with old people? Old people don't know no better. Old people are just like dogs. And you try to teach them a new trick or a new mentality, a new philosophy, you might as well just be trying to teach a toaster how to iron a blouse. You know what I'm talking about? Iron that blouse, toaster. Toaster gonna be like, fuck you, and then smack you with a broom. It's not a broom, it was a brush. You done fucked up the joke, Kyle. Move on, baby. Number 15. I'm a teacher. The examples of bad parenting I could give are staggering. The worst examples end up with me calling Child Protective Services. Damn. Like the child who talked about naked family time. Oh shit. Or the 14-year-old who left school to play designated driver for a drunk parent. Oh. Or any number of things. Day-to-day normal bad, though, is any parent who talks shit in front of their child. I don't care who you are bad-mouthing, don't do it in front of your child. All that comes to school, all of it. Yup, it's bad. That's why some of the bitchiest people in school, had the bitchiest parents, because they learned it from watching. I learned it from watching you, Mom. Oh, naked family time. Somebody responds, I work as a supervisor in a school for a couple of years, and the crap I experienced was insane. I work with 13 to 19-year-olds, so they already had enough issues managing normal everyday teenage struggles, but the things some of the parents did to add to their burdens was disgusting. I ended up leaving to work with adult learners, mainly because my degree is in the subject not taught at the school level, but it was a relief in a way, not having to watch these kids suffer. I still lose sleep worrying about some of them. Teachers are so underappreciated, and no one seems to consider what you see and have to deal with. Well, done for being a protective influence for those kids. Well done for being a protective influence for those kids. Number 14, man. When I was a cashier, this mom came in with her son's piggy bank. The kid was with her and must have only been 6 years old. He wanted to buy a candy bar with his money, but the mom told him no. His money was going to support the family. She then proceeded to buy a 6-pack of beer and some cigarettes with the money while the kid watched. The poor boy had tears in his eyes the whole time. I refused service to her, and the manager ended up ringing her up. She was paying with mostly pennies and nickels, and while she was distracted, I saw the boy walk over to the candy rack and wipe the tears from his eyes. I asked him what was wrong, and he told me it had taken him 3 years to save that money, but his mom didn't have a job, so she took it from him. I bought him the candy bar he wanted and gave him a bunch of quarters for the gumball toy machines. His mom saw me trying to get one of those sticky hands from the machine and took all the quarters he had from him. Fuck that lady. I'm a cynical asshole, so part of me wants to believe that this is all like a staged, you know, he was sent in there with that story to tell anybody going, "What's wrong, little boy? My mom, she take all my stuff 'cause she ain't got no job and I just want a candy bar. Oh, my dad, he left when I was a little boy. Said he was going out for some smokes, but he never came back. I like this kid. Okay, I don't know. You know, fuck. Some people just awful. Whatever. What do you want? Number 13. They set up a wedding fund instead of a college fund for their daughter and told that to her somewhat frequently. She ended up getting an MRS. What's an MRS? God damn it. That's not what I meant, Google. Ugh. I don't understand. She ended up getting an MRS and had a $250,000 wedding before never working in her field. This is a sentence that fucking destroys my brain, and I am not ashamed to admit it. Subscribers, I'm sorry. This is genuinely one of the few times where it's not comedic. I just don't know what the fuck this means. I understand that the sadness here is that they established a wedding fund for a girl, basically trying to restrict her life to just being an extension of like whatever man she gonna marry. You know what I mean? Like she's just supposed to be that housewife bitch. It says that down here. They essentially told her you're going to be a housewife and it's futile to develop yourself as a person from the time that she was 4. Wow, you know what I mean? God forbid she establish a career or pursue whatever that she want to be as a person herself and not be an extension of whoever the fuck she gonna be with. Anyway, this sentence, she ended up getting an MRS and had a $250,000 wedding before never working in her field. The concept of MRS is so weird to me. What the fuck is MRS? I'm in the middle of my undergraduate, and with the amount my parents... It must be something to do with school. That's why I know what the hell it is. Forgive me, guys. Love you. Kyle is uneducated. MRS. Number 12. Tell me what an MRS is in the comment section, guys. I love you. Because that's what I put it into Google. Okay. Let me type in MRS. Economics. Marginal rate of substitution. Some tell me that ain't right. Degree? MRS degree? Used to refer to the marriage or engagement of a woman pursuing higher education. A marriage is a result of attending a 4-year university with the sole purpose of getting married and consequently not completing college? Wait, to go from one parent's home to the home of the spouse without ever achieving emotional or financial independence? So wait, did she play somebody? Did she like she was kind of like a sugar baby here, where she just jumped into some dude's place and was put through college. The plot thickens, baby. We can't waste the rest of my life on this. I don't know what the hell's going on, and I'm a man enough to say I don't fucking know. Let's move the hell on. Number 12. I was a lifeguard for 4 years in my teens. Nigga wrote an autobiography over here. Long story short, parents expecting the lifeguards to do their job for them. Either they just drop their kids off or they don't pay attention. Background. This was a city pool. We didn't have too many terrible things, but we still saw our fair share of weird shit. Begin. Nigga, what? Who says shit like that? What an alien. This guy, let's call him Guy, okay, probably late 20s, early 30s, dove headfirst into the pool. The kiddie pool, very shallow. I saw it, blew the whistle, gave him a head shake. He acknowledged, rubs his chest because he scraped it on the bottom, and I thought it was over with. 5 minutes later, he dives head first into the kiddie section of the pool, 2 feet. I blow the whistle, call him over, and talk to him sternly about how I'm not reprimanding him for any other reason than that I don't want to have to blackboard him for a spinal. The guy agrees, says it was stupid, apologizes, and walks away. Cue fuck up number 3. The guy walks away from me over to hit this 6-foot water slide we have for the little kids. This is the cutest water slide, but still towers over its primary users, 2-year-olds. Along his way to the slide, Guy scoops up what I assume is his son and puts him at the top of the slide. Still standing up, the kid couldn't be more than 2 to 3 years old, had floaties on and all. The guy points at me, and over the regular pool ruckus I hear him yell, "See that, lifeguard? He told me he wants you to jump." What? See that, lifeguard? He told me he wants you to jump off the side of the slide. Then he proceeded to point at the concrete. I see the kid's knees buckle as he goes to jump, and my heart sinks like a rock to my stomach. I immediately shoot out of my chair and yell, "Hey!" 2 things of note. As a guard, you're never to stand on your tower unless you see someone in apparent danger. This is so other guards have a clear sign that something's going down, and to pay attention / get help. 2, I have a deep voice, a very deep voice. I'm quiet often, but when I get pissed, I utilize it to my advantage. What one of my friends later described as the voice of God echoes put across the pool. You probably meant out, didn't you? You probably meant out. More like the voice of some cuck. What one of my friends later described as the voice of cuck echoes out across the pool, and the entire place falls quiet. Guy immediately puts his son down on the ground and starts walking towards me. I call over the manager, explain it all, and she, not the brightest of managers, tell him he will be removed by the police after any other incidents. He apologizes, then goes on about his pool experience. 2 hours later, I'm in the 5-foot section, the deepest aside from the 12 to 20-foot section. Guy is walking along with friends, sees me in the chair, and goes, "Watch this." I'm still surprised he didn't say, "Hold my beer," instead. He runs and dives in real deep. Fuck up numero 4, reporting for duty, in front of his son, who was behind the legs of some other bro, and peeks out after his dad submerges. Guy floats up to the surface of the pool, face down and unresponsive. We had to evacuate the pool, stabilize and backboard him. The guy kept entering his name into Darwin's lottery and won. He died? too long, didn't read. Guy disobeys lifeguard. Guy gets son involved. Guy shows off friends to friends and son. Guy breaks neck. Oh my bing bong. He broke his neck. Somebody said, I am extremely relieved that he ended up breaking his own neck and not the child's. But damn, baby. I guess that's what you get when you're stupid, huh? Number 11. Not necessarily the worst, but depressing in some ways. I overheard a woman tell her child in a condescending manner, don't be stupid. Lizards don't lay eggs. Well, that's your mom that said that, man. She don't know shit. Yo mama don't know shit. Of course lizards lay eggs, you dumb bitch. You stupid dumb hoe. You slutty McFucking... Hannah probably texted me and I didn't respond. Give me a second. How you doing today, you guys? All right? Okay. Number 10. We're coming down to the home stretch here, guys. In the waiting room at the doctor's... Okay, let's try that again. In the waiting room at the doctor's, listen to a father and the son converse for 30 minutes. They would ask each other questions about geography, history, the universe in a natural, not interrogatory way. It was clear that the father was remarkably knowledgeable and that he enjoyed conversing with his son. It soon became apparent that this was far from their first conversation of this type. The son had an above average understanding of the world and a mature and sharp way of thinking. Listening to them was a serene experience. It put some things into perspective. There are more people like this around me. And no matter the bleak situation in my country or worldwide, it is possible to lead these beautiful, fulfilling lives. What, you wanted the worst example of bad parenting? Everyone is posting some pretty good examples. Nigga, who the fuck do you think you are to just come in here? And then people are upvoting you? Respect the content topic of this thread. Now I gotta scroll all the way down and read number 27 as if it's number 10. Number 10. A mother let her kid play in the stream of wood chips coming out of a wood chipper and yelled at the guy who was cutting down the trees because he told the kid to get away from it. She was on her phone the whole time. There could have been nails and stones in that wood that could have hit the kid, but nope. It was the bloke's fault for chipping wood and not letting the kid play in it. Man, some parents, dude. Holy ass. Number 9, guys. I was driving along my street when this 4 to 6-year-old kid rolls out of a driveway on a tricycle. I come to a stop and wait for him to get out of my way, as he seems to be doing. His mother runs down the driveway and just starts screaming at me rather than get her kid out of the road. Another car comes up behind and without waiting just goes around, clipping the kid's tricycle, knocking him on the ground, and the lady just screams at me even more. She wouldn't stop or get out of the way. I finally just held my horn down till she gathered up her kid and got out of the way. Get the fuck up out the street, bitch. Don't have your fucking kids in the goddamn street, bitch. And the reason I know that this bitch is a fucking bitch is because she probably don't give a damn about this kid. Got somebody rolling by in the middle of the street clipping your damn kid on his tricycle. Why doesn't your kid... Oh my god. It's 4 to 6 is not young, okay? So your kid either needs to be strictly freaking coached and not riding his shit in the middle of the street, or you're a bad parent regardless. You're a bad parent both ways. You believe that? You're a bad parent both ways. Even if your kid ain't in the street, you're supposed to be watching that little nigga. You know what I'm talking about? And if it is, then you should have known better Oh boy. Oh boy. A response reads, some people are really messed up when it comes to accepting responsibility. I was following a car through town one day and we were coming up on a green light. The property on a corner lot we were driving past and a large stone fence, so you couldn't see cars in the cross streets. All of a sudden, when the car in front of me is like 20 feet from the intersection, a cyclist rides through his red light right into the intersection. I'm thinking this guy's fucked, but the car in front of me reacts instantly and slams on his brakes and manages to swerve around the back end of the cyclist's bike. After the commotion, we both make it through the green and get stopped at the intersection. The cyclist sees this, changes course and pedals fast to get up to the car in front of me. He starts punching the car window and spitting on it and kicks the door and then rides off. It was surreal. He made a huge mistake by running a red, and the only reason he wasn't seriously hurt was because of the good driving done by the guy I was following. So naturally he proceeds to try and assault the guy that saved him months of recovery. And hey guys, this is a list that needs to be made, because you have no idea how up some people's asses they can be themselves. I see this so often, and this is what I propose. I would love to have a list be, okay, people who are the reason that an accident happened, like a vehicular accident happened, that believe that it was the other person's fault. You ever see some that's a criteria of videos that I want to make. It's just like a whole bunch of people getting into an accident, and then the person whose fault it is just getting mad as hell. How could you do this? This was your fault, bitch. This was your fault, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not know? How do you not understand? How is it so all about you that you don't get that? Number 8, man. Woo, let's get out of this list. A little while ago in a supermarket in London, a young girl was screaming at the cashier for asking for ID for the large bottle of vodka she was buying. As the cashier continued to ask for ID, the girl opened up her coat to reveal a large swollen belly and shouted, "Of course I'm old enough to drink vodka. I'm fucking pregnant." Mommy? Bloody hell, this is exactly like something you'd read in a joke book. Well, joke's on the kid, huh guys? Number 7. This 5-year-old kid emptied a 4-pint bottle of milk all over the floor at a supermarket where I worked, and her mom just stood there and watched. To add to that, the child managed to place the empty bottle in the center of this now 2-meter wide puddle, and the mom just looked at me and said, "You've got some cleaning up to do." Unbelievably rude. I would have handed her the mop and bucket and made her pay for the milk. What country y'all living in? Where they do shit like this, and then the parents don't have a I'm dead serious. You can't just let your little nigga gremlins running around in a fucking supermarket. I like to think maybe Publix is an upstanding enough place to let people get away with that kind of stupid horse shit. But if it happened in Walmart and we got the security camera footage on you, and it can be proved that the mother saw this kid, essentially vandalizing store, shit, either she gonna need to pay for it. You know what I mean? B, maybe you banned, bitch. Some shit. The fuck up out of her. Or C, maybe she cleaned it up. You know what I'm saying? Because if it can be proved that you noticed your kid doing this and you allowed him to empty a bottle of something on the ground, you know what I mean? Come on. This is despicable. I really hope it doesn't get gross and sexy towards the top. And sexy, I mean, abusing the kid. Ugh. Number 6. An irate mother of a girl in a private school music program made a big scene in front of the faculty and students because her daughter had not been selected to sing a solo in the school concert. The student had been very clear to the faculty that she didn't want the part, nor was her voice suited for it. Still, her overbearing mother insisted that she audition against her will. As a result, the girl was yanked out of the school she loved by her parents and embarrassed, all because the mother's ego required that her daughter be the shining star in front of others. Yep, that's a bad parent right there. Live your life, dude. You don't need to try your best to live through your fucking kid. My God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Number 5, man. Standing outside a supermarket a couple of years back, a woman walks out, toddler in a push chair. A kid who might have been about 7 or 8, walking maybe 5 feet behind her. The older kid had a small rubber ball and was bouncing it on the ground and catching it. He seemed perfectly happy. It wasn't making any noise or bouncing around or anything. It wasn't bothering anyone. He was just bouncing and catching his ball as he walked. The woman, I assume it was his mom, noticed this after a minute, spun around and grabbed him hard by the upper arm, and then shouted right in his face, "If you keep bouncing that fucking ball, I'm going to smash your fucking face in." Shook him hard once, and then just turned around and walked on with the pushchair. The kid just looked so emptied, like he wasn't even allowed this one small pleasure. It doesn't matter how annoying you find it when your kid bounces a ball. That's just never an okay thing to say to your child. I'm gonna smash your face in though, bro. You got me fucked up with that ball you're bouncing, okay? You got me fucked up. You want me to shake you? Okay. Number 4. I have a friend who's always had trouble sleeping. When she was young and didn't want to go to bed, her mother would tell her she'd die if she didn't go to sleep. So she desperately tried to go to sleep, but would be kept awake by her fear of not falling asleep. Hilarious. Somebody says, that's horrible. I hate bringing up death as a threat when I'm talking to kids. But sometimes it's the only way you can get the seriousness of a situation across. The only time you're supposed to bring up death is when it's real and that shit can happen. Don't play in the fucking street. You will not be alive anymore. We won't be in your life anymore. You know what I mean? Shit. Don't fuck around, you stupid little shits. Don't buck or stop fucking around. Too much fucking around going on in here. Number 3, at a movie theater, sitting in the 4th or 5th row with friends. This was an R-rated movie. Oh boy. 2 kids, maybe 4 and 7 years old, are in the audience. They start playing and running back and forth at the front of the movie theater, and the 4-year-old falls and starts to cry. The parents doesn't bother to get up. My friend finally went to console the child after a few minutes, and the mother never bothered to get up. Can you kick these kids out of an R-rated movie? Look, I don't know. I don't want to know, I guess. Number 2. This has been gilded 4 times. This ought to be good. I was waiting in line for a ferry in Washington State. In case you've not done it there, it's a big parking lot, and everybody waits in their cars till you load up on the ferry. The guy next to me obviously does not know I am looking at him, and he turns around and smacks the shit out of his crying 2-year-old while his 6 to 7-year-old daughter is watching. He hit him 7 to 8 times in pure rage style beating. He looks over and notices I am watching and tries to pretend nothing happened. I get out of my truck, start to head over to the bomb dog cop they have around, and as I am heading over, he runs up to stop me and asks what I think I'm doing. I kept trying to get around him without a confrontation. He kept pushing me, but I was able to sneak by, so he tripped me. I got up and walked into plain view of the officer, and the dude punches me in the back of the head, then spit in my face. The officer saw all of this and came up and put the guy in cuffs. All of this is in view of the small children in the car. So I took a punch and got spat in the face, but in the end the children were taken into protective custody and I pressed full charges. There was another witness to the guy hitting the kid, and they had security footage of the guy assaulting me, so I didn't even have to go to court. Thank God, dude. You're fucking beating a 2-year-old in the face. I get it, dude. Some of you parents are gonna have rage because of your stupid life and the way that you didn't want things to go for you and the future that you thought you could have had and the people that aren't in your life anymore and the love that you wanted to share with this person that you were all about but doesn't give a fuck about you, okay? I get that it may reach a boiling point and you want to let this shit overflow onto a fucking minor that you're using as an outlet because you don't have your shit together. So why should anybody else, right? So you're trying to transfer this shit through you onto them so that they can be as terrible as you. Guess fucking what, nigga? You need to just die, okay? Kill yourself. Because if misery has to love company in a you know, an eye for an eye sort of way, you know, these kids don't know no fucking better. These kids don't know anything. And you're making them the unwilling and undeserving recipients of your ignorant rage based on shit that you put yourself in, whether you feel like it or not. Fuck off. Fuck off and die, you piece of shit. You're jumping out of your car and then hitting another adult in the back of the head, tripping a nigga and spitting on him. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not saying that like, oh, it's your own kid, so that's a little better. You know what I mean? It's really worse because this is a kid and he doesn't know better and you're slapping him multiple times in the face. Fuck me. Fuck me. But to get out and assault another adult, some people just need an ass whooping. Some people just need to get fucking done. You know what I'm saying? This is nuts. This is a crazy story. This is a crazy story. Somebody said, I was in one of those ferry lots and there was a guy shouting loudly in between the cars while holding up a sandwich. He was making a scene. A seagull swooped down and snatched the sandwich right out of the hand and flew off. But your story is better, though. Oh my God, Reddit. Oh my God. Number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, I feel like I'm dying. These lists drain me. These lists are taking some away from me. Okay, number 1. The fuck is that noise? Okay. Number 1. Literally 3 days ago, I was at Cash Point, which I think is a check cashing place, at around 10:30 p.m. when some woman pulls up beside me in her 3-door Corsa. In the pissing down rain, she sends her kid, who couldn't have been older than 9, who was wearing a bathrobe, running into the chip shop to get a bag of chips. He came back to the car without any and said he didn't have the right amount of money. And she hurled all sorts of abuse. I've given you the right fucking amount. Now fuck off back into the shop and get the fucking food. Then a few minutes later, he comes back to the car soaking wet with a bag of food, and she starts yelling that he better have gotten the fucking order right because it doesn't fucking look right. And she yells at him to get in the car, and she just speeds off. Horrible cunt of a woman. Somebody said, I work at McDonald's in the middle of a dual carriageway, and you'd be surprised how common this is. Parents pull up, send their under 12-year-old kid out into the store by themselves to pick up the order, and the kid retreats back to the car. Like, damn lady, if you're too lazy to leave the damn car, we have a fucking drive-through. Somebody else says, to be fair, they might be trying to build up their kids' independence, and so come on now, please stop, guys, please stop. That's enough. That's enough of this list. I don't know where to go with stuff like this. Bill Paxton is dead, guys. Bill Paxton is fucking dead. I'm not saying this is the type of shit I I frequently. Oh man, Bill Paxton is dead. Twister came out in 1996, dude. In 1996, Twister came out. That's 20 years ago, my nigga. We're getting old. And nothing like celebrities dying will make you feel like you got old. And this is, I guess, what we're updating. Like what I say when I say upload, I say refreshing. That's what I mean. When I refresh Reddit, I guess this is the type of shit that I'm looking at. You know. Oh. Better somebody dying than a mass shooting, huh? Well, I guess a mass shooting is somebody dying, but you know. Oh boy. Devastating accident, and then some kid like drops his fucking corn dog. Sure, his roles in Terminator, Aliens, and Predator were all great, and a lot of people will remember him for carrying Twister, but I'll always remember him as the sleazeball car salesman from True Lies, who wet himself when Arnold threatens to throw him off a cliff. That's life, guys. You guys take it easy. I'm going to be trying to figure out how to make some cash so I can sort out my phone and get For Honor, of course, because that game looking tight. Oh, Kyle, and your gaming passion. It's going to control your life, Kyle. Well, see you guys later. Love you.